Hi, everyone. My name is Crystal Reitmeyer, and I'm a director of product marketing here at Qualified. I'm joined by Colby Botts, lead solutions engineer at Qualified, and today we are going to unpack 10 proven strategies for pipeline generation with Piper, the AI SDR agent. We'll also dive into the Qualified application to demo a bit of the product so you can see how it all comes together and how to put it all into practice. So let's get started. Here we have play number 1, Piper syncs with outbound. Obviously, outbound is still a really big motion for pipeline generation, and your outbound SDRs spend a lot of time researching cold accounts and crafting a meaningful message to pique their interest. The last thing you want to do is drop the ball when an interested buyer arrives on your website. Piper is there to partner with your outbound SDRs and deliver this totally omni-channel experience. Once buyers click through an outbound email, she can seamlessly continue the conversation on the website and work toward her pipeline goals. This helps to generate more pipeline and it maximizes those hard-earned outbound efforts. Next up is play number 2. This is Piper accelerates deal cycles. Generating pipeline is tough. We all know that. So when you have a qualified buyer in an active sales cycle, you want to keep them engaged and keep that deal moving forward. That is where Piper comes in. Because she knows everything about your buyers, she can recognize when buying intent from an open opportunity is heating up or if it's cooling down. She then takes swift action to keep the buyer engaged, like inviting them to an exclusive event, which you can see here. Plus, she can also relay all these notable activities across relevant systems to keep your revenue teams informed. And next up is play number 3. Piper engages high-intent buyers. You have buyers on your website right now who are showing high buying intent. But how do you identify them? How do you connect with them? And how do you do this all at scale? It is impossible. Piper is able to automatically detect which buyers are heating up based on their website activity, then immediately sends a follow-up email to engage the buyer and book time. This is how you capitalize on buying intent signals and turn all those interested buyers into high-value pipeline. So now I'd like to pass it over to Colby to show it to us in action. Colby, over to you.
Thanks, Crystal. So as we know, buyers are engaging with your brand at any given moment. But to Crystal's point, it's nearly impossible to engage every single one of them and understand which ones are going to be a fit. But this is where Piper comes in, because not only does she understand your complete go-to-market motion, she also understands what actions create hot leads. So as buyers are on your website browsing various different sections, Piper's measuring buying intent in real time. Are they looking at the right pages? Are they reading your content? And even tracking things like real-time engagement. So when we think about an example of someone like Amy Thomas, who's the VP of Finance over at Workday, and as she happens to be browsing the Brex website, she comes across the pricing page. This is a really high-intent buying signal. We need to make sure that we take action on this. And in order to help facilitate all of these follow-up activities and insights, Piper is actively compiling all of this information within a single lead view. From here, we can see things like what's the timeline of activity that Amy has been seeing throughout her entire engagement with the Brex brand. If we want to dig in deeper, we can see email campaigns she's a part of or was a part of previously. What conversations has she had? How many visits, forms you may have filled out previously? But to help digest all this information, Piper has summarized all this information in this sleek Piper Lead Spotlight. It's highlighting some of those key value activities that we just saw, such as like, hey, she's looking into Concur alternatives, one of the biggest competitors for Brex. We can see that she's been engaging with different offerings, looking for potential adoptions, demo request forms, looking at pricing. And not only is she summarizing all this information to make it easier for us to digest, she's also recommending how we take action off of this, such as recommending these next steps. So for example, when Amy comes back to the website, let's proactively greet her with relevant messaging based on the context that we know about her engagement. But going even further than that, she's recommending that we be proactive here and get an email out to Amy. But rather than sending this over through to our human SDRs, Piper's already in Amy's inbox, ready to engage, referencing all those valuable insights that we saw within that account or Lead 360 record. Saw you were checking out our pricing and plans. We have real-time insights that can be quite beneficial for companies that are looking to make that switch from Concur. It's all contextual and relevant, and we have built-in calls to action, such as the ability to book a meeting. So as Amy clicks this link, Piper's analyzing all these details that we just referenced to find the best representative as a part of the Brex sales team to take over this conversation moving forward. It's pretty amazing, but now I'm going to pass it back over to Crystal to walk through some more of our top plays.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Colby. So now let's jump into play number 4. Piper follows up with content downloads. Marketing teams work so hard to generate marketing content like case studies, guides, ebooks, and more. Piper can index your full library of offers and surface the most relevant offer for each website visitor, piquing their interest. Once an email is captured, Piper will automatically send a follow-up email with the downloaded content. She can also add them to a nurture sequence and follow up with regular touchpoints, keeping them engaged. Once the buyer is ready to move forward, Piper gets a meeting on the books with their dedicated sales rep. Next up, we have play number 5. Piper does event outreach. So this is a really exciting play that's getting a ton of traction with our customers. Events are a fantastic way to connect with buyers, but pre-event and post-event outreach both have their challenges. You don't want these valuable leads to fall through the cracks. Piper can step in and do all of your pre-event outreach automatically, booking time to connect in person at sponsored events or helping to drive registration for hosted events. It's completely customizable and based on your goals. Plus, you can do post-event follow-up to book time with your sales team and keep the conversation moving forward. This is a surefire way to maximize event ROI. Here we have play number 6. Piper handles lead follow-up. Web forms are still one of the most common ways we capture leads on the website. Traditionally, that lead then goes into a lead queue for a human SDR to work, but this takes time, and inevitably, that pipeline is falling through the cracks. With Piper, she can instantly qualify the buyer based on your unique criteria and serve up a meeting booker. If no meeting is booked, Piper will immediately follow up over email with the option to book time. She is on a mission to get this meeting booked. The beauty of this play is that it bypasses all of those manual workflows required of human SDRs and accelerates speed to lead from days down to minutes. So now I'm going to pass it back over to Colby to show us how this play is done. Colby, over to you.
That's right, Crystal. Contact sales and demo request forms are oftentimes some of the hottest leads for any B2B organization, so we need to make sure that we're converting them in a timely manner. So, for example, when Amy's on the Brex website and filling out a demo request form, we need to make sure that we're capitalizing on this. So upon submission, Piper's analyzing each of these details, referencing the go-to-market systems within the Brex tech stack, and she notices not only that Amy is a part of a target account in Workday, but she's a VIP persona within this account. So we need to make sure that we convert here. And to help facilitate that conversion process, she's instantly offering up a meeting booker here for Amy to book time directly with her account team. But what if Amy doesn't end up selecting a time? This is a huge missed opportunity here, but to Crystal's point, Piper's on a mission to convert this lead. So as we shift over here to Amy's inbox, Piper is instantly landing here, referencing her recent visit, notices that she filled out a demo request form. She's providing additional details and resources for her to check out. She's also introducing Amy to her account executive with a link to book time instantaneously. This is bypassing those traditional manual workflows that we see in that follow-up process to get that follow-up time down to minutes versus hours or even days. Now, back to you, Crystal.
Okay, thank you, Colby. So let's explore play number 7. Piper facilitates customer expansions. Expanding into your existing customer base is crucial for business growth, but keeping accounts informed about new products and services can be tough. In this play, we see how marketing teams promote new releases to your customers and how Piper helps to amplify that message. So after a one-to-many email campaign is released, Piper will send a bespoke email to each customer offering to book time with their assigned account manager. This gives your sales teams more upsell opportunities that drive more revenue. Play number 8 is Piper revives dead deals. This is a really interesting play. Typically, when a deal is lost, there's no knowing if or when that account shows renewed interest. Instead, the onus is on the sales rep to periodically reach out and try to re-engage the account. This is both laborious and time-consuming, and sales reps are very busy. But with Piper, she can detect all of those cues using all your go-to-market data, proactively engage the account when they're on the website, and offer to book time with their dedicated account owner. This means sales reps have scheduled meetings with high-value accounts, and it's all happening automatically. Next is play number 9. Piper deflects time wasters. Of course, you will always have interested buyers who just don't match your ICP or make sense for your business. In this play, Piper helps to safeguard your sales reps' calendars so they can focus on the prospects who matter. Using your go-to-market data, Piper can understand which website visitors are not qualified, respond to their questions, and then redirect them to self-serve resources. This is a really effective way to ensure your sales reps are only converting leads that are worthwhile. And lastly is play number 10. Piper maximizes account-based marketing. ABM continues to be a key strategy for B2B marketing teams, targeting your best and biggest accounts with personalized campaigns. Not only does this require a hefty investment, it also requires major coordination across teams. Piper is pivotal in getting the most out of these efforts. The moment a target account arrives on your website, Piper will quickly surface a relevant marketing offer and engage them in a meaningful conversation to capitalize on that magic moment when their interest is piqued. So, Colby, go ahead and show us how this one's done.
Marketers are being very strategic when targeting their most aspirational accounts. Things like messaging, channel for delivery, and maximizing spend are all critical points to consider. So, Amy, being the VP of Finance, is always trying to improve their accounts receivable process. And when she comes across a well-timed ad from the Brex team, it piques her interest, so she wants to learn more. So as she clicks through and comes over to the Brex website, she's instantly greeted with a dynamic offer to promote an upcoming webinar on how to utilize AI to automate the entire accounts receivable process, and Amy instantly registers. So now what? We've got a great ad in front of Amy, and she registered for that upcoming webinar, but what's the follow-up process look like? Traditionally, we're going to take that lead list post-event and hand it off to our human SDRs. But we know due to human capacity constraints, this could take days or even a week for Amy to get that follow-up email. But Piper's geared up and ready to strike while the iron's hot. And she's already hit Amy with a contextual email thanking her for attending that upcoming webinar, and she's included some additional resources post-event for her to check out to learn more. And as we saw before, we have that instant meeting booking link. But as Amy clicks through and comes back to the Brex website, Piper's going to serve up contextual messaging based on all of those valuable insights that we saw within that lead and account C360 record earlier, saying, hey, thanks for checking out my email. I'm glad you were able to attend that webinar. And she's continuing to drive towards that end goal of trying to get that meeting on the books for the Brex sales team. After all the research that Amy's done, attended the webinar, she's finally ready to take that next step. So Piper's going to look through all of these additional insights and dynamically surface up a meeting booker of the Brex account rep that's going to be best suited for this conversation.
Thank you so much, Colby, and thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about these plays, you can visit the URL shown here or reach out to the qualified team at any time. Thank you again.